So, anytime you're ready.
Okay. Hi, Jordan.
All right.
So nice of you to come and visit us all the way from Texas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Sleed, that is so impressive. I mean, right away, people hear that name, they think you're a star already.
Well, I don't know these people, but
Yeah.
I'll look for them.
Well, you are very talented. You play the ukulele,
I do, yes.
and you came to New York City to do to perform.
Yeah. I played on Sunday night at Rockwood Music Hall, and I did some recording on Saturday, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yes, and the performance at the Rockwood Music Hall, how long did you play?
About 45 minutes.
Wow, straight, 45 minutes straight.
Oh yeah,
That's,
nothing.
it's nothing.
No, but it is fun to play my own music.
You're
Back
right.
in Texas, I'm usually playing 3 or 4 hours, but doing covers, and I love the songs I play too, so it's fun.
You
but
love
it's
your own
different.
songs, right?
I try to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you write, you're a composer also.
I am.
That's amazing. And how many songs have you written?
Hundreds. I don't know.
You're kidding, hundreds.
Songs that I'd be willing to share are not in the hundreds, but
Oh, and you do your own, you make CDs also?
yes, I put out this EP last year that I made with a guy in San Antonio named Rick Alvarez. He has a studio, and we just worked on that together, and so that's out on iTunes, Spotify. I've also got CDs.
So you're selling them.
Mm-hmm.
And how are the sales going?
Yeah, I mean they do pretty well when I play live, and people seem to want to get them, and I still like it, so that's good.
Well, that's, that is important that you like what you do, because
Right.
then others will like it too.
That's the hope, yeah.
So I have written a few songs, but I know that it sounds better when it is arranged. Do you do your own arranging, or
Yes.
and do you have other people play with you? I mean, you play the ukulele,
I do.
and other people play what?
Well, for example, on that CD I did last year, I had my good friend Bobby, who's an amazing drummer and musician. He did all of the drums on it. I always, especially if I'm working with somebody else, I always have an idea of what I want the song to sound like and production and everything. So I usually demo everything at home, and like just even if it's really dumbed down, I'll just do the drums at home and bass and everything. And that's what we did in the studio. It was pretty much just me and Rick. I just tell him like, hey, I want a piano on this part, and he'd do something. He's a better piano player than I am, so I just had him. But yeah, same thing with, that's what I'm working on stuff at home now, where either I'm the sole musician if it's from home, or if I'm doing it live, I have some really talented friends who can play the instruments for me that I
So
don't know.
you are really very talented, not only good looking. I can imagine that you're my grandson.
Well,
I mean, we
Thanks, Mom.
okay, good, stop right now. Cut. What did you say?
I said, thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
When you said you couldn't believe that he's your grandson because he's so good looking, I said, thanks, Mom.
Oh, thanks, Mom. So how much was that? 10 minutes? What'd you say? Or
2. And buckle your shoe whenever you want.
Well, Jordan, I remember when you were little, I used to go visit you a lot in Texas,
Yeah.
and you were into basketball, baseball, and
Right.
at that time you were not interested in music. When did you switch?
I don't know exactly how the switch occurred. I remember I really wanted to play basketball. I did play basketball for a really long time. Really long time. I don't know, a couple years, but uh, I never reached the realization that I probably wasn't going to be in the NBA as a 5'7" white kid. But
Oh yeah, you grew late.
well, yeah, I was even shorter when I thought I could have made it too. No, when I was 13, I picked up the ukulele. I just saw some kid at school with one, I think, and I just bought a cheap one on online. And once I got it, I did not put it down for weeks, just playing it at home, and then slowly I started writing songs, picked up guitar, and then sports kind of took a back seat. Well, they got kicked out of the car overall, but
And you started writing songs right away, or you just picked out
No.
songs that you know?
at first I was just playing songs I liked, and which is a good way to learn because I really liked the whole music theory side as well. I was in band before, so I realized I could apply all these things I had learned, and it was really fun for me to teach myself but not teach myself. And I started writing songs maybe a year after I was playing, and that's why I started singing, because I had to sing what I was writing. So
Well, I think it's in your genes.
yeah.
Both your parents are talented music.
Oh yeah.
Your mother plays the piano and sings, and
Uh-huh.
your father also. What does he do? He sings.
He's got a
and-
great taste in music too.
Yes,
Yeah.
he picks up the piano and drums. I remember when he was little, he used to, the front of the car, he used to
Oh yeah.
hit it, and it got all the fabric got cracked because he was playing the drum. And of course, moi, your grandmother
course.
is very talented
Yeah.
also. I
Uh-huh.
write music and play the piano. And when I was younger, I could sing. Don't ask me to sing now.
Okay.
So, yeah, and your sister also is talented.
So talented. One of the best singers I've ever heard. Yeah.
Yeah, even better than your mom.
She's in her own world. I
Oh.
don't.
Yeah, don't make me choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's in your genes. So, it's, and I think I asked you before, if you practice your handwriting, do you often ask for your autograph?
Yeah. Just
It-
on restaurant receipts and things like that.
Oh, so you, and in Texas, in San Antonio, where you live, you play in different locations?
Yes. So I've been playing around town at various restaurants, weddings, bars, private events, stuff like that.
And how do you get those gigs? Do you call them gigs?
Yes.
I mean,
that's-
I call them gigs. What do I
That's
know?
what we call them. Yeah.
Do they come to you, or you seek them out?
So you definitely have to seek them out at first, and then the more consistently you're playing, and I guess the more solid the whole show gets, the more you get people asking you to play at events. So that's where weddings and stuff come about. If I'm playing at a restaurant, someone might come ask me to do a party or something, and then it's just
Do you have a set price, or people ask what you charge, or
it depends on the gig. Yeah.
yeah, and it depends how the person looks. If you feel that they have a lot of money, so yes.
Yeah, you gotta
Do
do a quick judge.
Would you say that you could make a living out of this, or at one time you hope to? Or,
I do now, yeah.
or you do now,
Yeah.
you make a living. My
Mhm.
goodness. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh wow, that's when you're so young, and I bet all the girls are after you. Do you have trouble shaking them
Send some
off?
of them my way. I don't know who they are.
You have trouble shaking them off?
No, I
No.
have.
Oh, you have bodyguards?
Yeah, I guess, and they're really
Yeah.
good because I've never heard from any of these girls. So.
Do you have a favorite, a real favorite of your song? I mean, I know you like all of them, but I'm wondering if there's one particular that you like better than.
So that, yes, but it changes a lot. It's usually just the most recent one I've written.
And that's your favorite, the most recent?
But right now, I'll give you two answers. My favorite one right now is this song that's not available anywhere or anything. It's called Hold. I wrote it pretty recently and I still like it. And then on the EP I put out last year, my favorite is a song called Lift My Spirits. But that changes a lot too, so I don't know.
When you say change a lot, you mean your preference change a lot, or you keep changing the song?
No, it's the preference,
Oh,
yeah.
the preference,
But
I see.
the songs that aren't out yet keep getting changed too, you know.
Oh,
I might repurpose a verse for another song's chorus or
how
something.
about a song called Golden Dream?
That's my favorite. You got it. Yeah.
So you're gonna work on that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're gonna collaborate on that.
Yeah, we've
We-
already
we-
done a little, yeah.
Sleed and Sleed.
Sleed and Sleed. Come
Yes.
on. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so are we gonna finish with
Yeah, just try to ask about ask it to say.
Ask.
I'm fascinated on the process of what goes into writing a song. Explain, and then Jordan, you will fill in the blank.
oh,
So
okay, well, since as I mentioned before, I write some songs, but I'm just if I would want to make it public, then what's the process that goes into it? Because that's just the first step. You write a song, but then what do you have to do with it?
no,
No?
that's too.
Technical?
Yeah. Make it more not like a process, a step by step, but the idea. Like you get an idea of what happens next. Can walk us through one of the songs. Walk us through the process, and then he'll say, "Well, for example, Lift My Spirits. I had this melody in my head." He'll take care of it.
Well, then cross off that what I just
Yeah,
said
don't worry.
before.
I'll be able to figure
Okay,
that out.
can you just briefly tell us how a song becomes at the finished product? Like you have something
Ew.
in mind.
Yeah, it's different every time, of course, but
Yeah.
you can find similar threads in all of the songs that probably anybody's written. I think of myself as this is a common phrase people use in like the singer-songwriter world. There are guitar players that sing, and there are singers that play guitar. I think of myself as more of a guitar player that sings. So I got into music and being a musician before I started getting into singing necessarily. So more often than not, I'll have a musical idea or motif or some sort of melody line in mind. But then I'm also writing all the time, whether that's journaling or whatever. So I always have different verse ideas or different concepts. So, like for example, that song I mentioned, "Lift My Spirits," I had this phrase, "What if it's not all bad?" which is really simple, but I figured that could be a good chorus. And then I had these guitar voicings I really liked in the key of E, and so a lot of times for me it's trying to like force two things together musically and lyrically, and then just trying to find a place where they meet. And more often than not, the place where they meet perfectly is when I pick up a guitar and start singing and don't let myself think about it. That's nearly impossible for me. So those songs happen once in every 100 tries. Yeah.
It's amazing because a lot of times I feel that when I write something, how did I do it?
Yeah.
It just comes to you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it's like a God-given,
Oh, definitely.
and you feel that way too, right?
Yes. And those are the songs where I can get out of my own way. Those are the
Yeah.
best ones. Those are the ones that last the longest in my mind. So.
Yeah. Well, you are my son's son.
Uh-huh.
No wonder you're talented. And I'm just so happy that you find time to come to New York
Oh, of
and
course.
talk to me all the way
I love
from
it here.
Texas.
I love it
Well, let's hope we could do this more often.
here. Yeah.
And then we'll do more shows, and you'll do more songs,
All right.
and we'll do more hugs and kisses.
All right. You got it.
Okay, sweetheart.